What is going on, everyone? I am incredibly excited. I'm really hyped up about this knife review, even more so than I normally am, because I was lucky enough to get my hands on this early. This being the Numb Knife Works N1, aka the Cornerstone. This is their very first design. I want to give you some backstory, but I also don't want to get yelled at. So before I do anything else, I'm just going to take the knife out, open it up, and place it here so that I don't get yelled at for taking too long. But this is, again, the Cornerstone. The designer is Nick Palizzis. I had the pleasure of meeting him as well as his wife, Lindsay, at Blade Show this past year. And I don't know if you guys had heard, but there was quite a bit of rumbling about someone with a prototype with a new locking system, and this is it. This is the pinch lock. And as the name suggests, it's a pinch lock. This knife is without a doubt my knife of 2025. This is my favorite knife of the year. No questions about it. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. First things first, like I said, I'd met Nick and his wife Lindsay in Atlanta. Two incredibly kind, cool people. Lindsay's a badass in her own right. Nick is a super smart designer. And this being his first design is incredibly impressive. As a matter of fact, if you're wondering, Numb Knife Works, if you look closely here, Nick's unhinged mechanical brain. I've only known Nick for a short while, but that seems to hit the nail on the head. Like I said, a super intelligent guy. And this knife is just phenomenal. I absolutely love this knife. I've probably made 800 to 1,000 cuts with it. I've tested it quite a bit. But before we go any further, let's just go through the specs real quick. Overall, actually the weight, just under 4 ounces. Actually feels a little bit more closer to 3 ounces. For whatever reason, it just feels kind of light, which is very nice. Overall length is 7.2 inches. The blade is S90V blade steel. Blade length is 2.96 with a cutting edge of 2.61. You have these very nice, clean tie scales with the micro milling, accented with that blue anodized body screws, clip, and pivot cap. Just, man, it's just a super, super comfortable knife. If I didn't mention, the scales come in at 4.24. You have this nice larger finger choil up here. But the ergonomics, this is why I love this. First of all, the width of the scale is just under half an inch, which seems to be perfect for me. You know how you get one of those knives and for whatever reason it just feels that much more comfortable than most of any other knives that you've used recently? That's this knife. So even if I'm using this grip all the way back here, you have this notch in the blade where it sweeps up right here. So it allows for perfect thumb placement. If you're holding it back here, if you choke up and use the finger choil, you also have jimping. Not too aggressive, but jimping enough to get some good control at the edge of the blade. It feels really comfortable, like you're not going to lose control of it. As you can see, it's a nice size knife. For me, it's perfect. I have pretty big hands. This just feels incredibly comfortable, not to be repetitive. But let's get to the star of the show, so to speak. The patent pending pinch lock, which, as the name suggests, as I said before, it is a pinch lock. I am going to do a hyperlapse disassembly so that you guys can take a closer look at it. But just the broad strokes is that it's a dual detent system. So you have a detent ball here on this side and here on this side. So one on each scale with each side of the pinch lock. As a matter of fact, a cool design feature is you have here these two little circles here to represent the dual detent system. But if I unlock this knife, right, just so that you can showcase this or give you a little bit of a better understanding or illustration rather, you're going to see when I do this slowly, it hits the first detent ball about here, 1 and 2. Now if you focus on the pinch lock, when it locks out, you'll see that they'll push out. So the first detent ball here, and then watch the pinch lock here, it pushes out. I guess a better way to do that would be this view. So first one, second one, see it push out. You got about 80%. Let me get a light here. You got about, the lockup is about at 80%. If you look right below the blade here, you see the two arms coming out here. It covers almost the entire blade, so it's locked into place there. It's a very secure lock. And if I pinch the locks, let me get a better grip here. Hold on. If I pinch the lock, you'll see they disappear, obviously because I'm leveraging the top here, so it allows it to release and the blade falls down. It's really that simple. I mean, not design-wise, but functionally, it's that simple. You push on them, it falls down. I've loosened the pivot so that it's got a bit more play, but tighten it up a bit, and you just get a nice soft landing when you release the lock. I just like to fidget with it a bit more. But the action is incredibly smooth. I should mention, I don't think I even mentioned it yet, but it is a front flipper. And with this action, you can use it as a front flipper normally. You can roll it back. You can pull it back. Spidey flick it. Oop, that was a little bit weak. Spidey flick it. Use your thumb. I like to use my forefinger to get some snap to it with a lot of the knives. Let me see if I can get a better angle here. Let's go to this side. Oop. It's not the knife, it's just the angle of the recording. It's hard to do this sometimes, so I got to get into a decent angle here. But the knife has some of the smoothest action I've felt in a while. It's super addictive. Just really fun to use. I can't speak highly enough of the ergonomics, but I did do some testing. Actually, before we do that, let's disassemble this, give you a closer look at the pinch lock, and I will be back in a minute. All right, so we got it pulled apart here so I can showcase the pinch lock, the locking system. So let me get this blade out of the way. I had mentioned in the early part of the video that it is a dual detent system. So you have one detent ball on the front or back, and then another detent ball on the other side. I want to increase the lighting here. Bear with me for 1 second because I want to show you a close-up. Here we go. So on both sides, you have a liner that's closed with 2 T6s, I believe. And just imagine, so if the knife is ready to use and locked out, the pinch lock is pushed out this way. You would push in on both sides to release it and close the knife. My point in bringing that up is that there's a spring. It's spring-loaded here at the base of the pinch lock. The cool thing for disassembly and reassembly is that the well where the spring goes on the inside here is deep enough so that you don't need to worry about the spring flying out and losing it somewhere on the ground. Always be careful when you're doing it, but it is set up to make this as easy as possible. I'm not going to take off the liner and go through everything. It is pretty straightforward. But that's it, man. That's the pinch lock from both sides. And actually, one other thing I do want to point out is that when the knife is locked out and ready to use, it's this little piece right here, the bottom of the pinch lock, that's covering the blade or locking it in place. So you have that right there, as well as the same amount of coverage on the other side. I think together, when the blade is in place, the coverage on the blade is 70 to 80%, so it's a very secure lock. The blade's locked in there really well. I feel incredibly safe using this knife. But I just wanted to showcase the pinch lock since it is patent pending. It's something new we don't get to see that often. Something I think is incredibly cool and exciting. I think you guys are going to love it if you get your hands on this. But that was it for the pinch lock, so let's get back to it. Let me assemble this and we'll get going. All right. So I'm obviously not an expert or a designer, but hopefully my explanations or illustrations via the video, I've given you a pretty good idea of how the locking system works, how the pinch lock works. I have all the confidence in the world. Like I said, I think once or twice now that I've made anywhere from 800 to 1,000 cuts with this thing. I'm not exaggerating. So let's go see some of the testing, see it in action so you guys see what it's capable of, and I will be back in a minute. And we're back. I just realized, actually, I didn't even mention that it's got a full-length hollow grind, which is one of the features of the blade that I love. But in any case, I also hope that cutting video really showcased how great of an edge this is for everyday use. Whether it's cardboard, paper, wood, doesn't make a difference. It's extremely effective, very sharp knife. I think on this I have a 19-degree edge on there. It came out of the box super sharp. I didn't take any material off when I sharpened it. I just sharpened it up a bit. Which I do for a lot of the reviews when I'm going to be doing some testing to give it the best chance. In this case, it didn't really need it. This is a solid construction. And just to summarize, the reason why I'm saying this is my favorite knife of this year, for all the things I mentioned, for the ergonomics, how incredibly comfortable it is, the innovation with the pinch lock, the action is incredibly smooth. It's just all around one of the more solid constructions, the most solid construction I've handled this year, and I've handled a great number of knives. Again, it's the Numb Knife Works N1, aka the Cornerstone. Definitely go onto Instagram, follow them if you're not already doing so, and just keep an eye out for any updates for whenever the release date comes out, because you guys are going to want to get your hands on this. I'm telling you, this is going to go quick, and it's one that you won't regret. But thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. One last time, Numb Knife Works, the Cornerstone, coming to you soon. Thanks, guys.